Right now on KGW News at noon, 2 shootings in Portland in the last 24 hours, both close to a school. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, with some days in the 80s, the past few weeks, summer is not too far away. How about Multnomah County is preparing for a potentially record hot summer? And later,
yes, it's support for theater that creates a sense of belonging and a sense of joy. It is actually critical support for the city of Portland.
Portland's largest theater company is asking for help. It says it needs millions to avoid a permanent shutdown. How you can help. Your news at noon starts right now. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm China Green. We're following 2 shootings in the area in the last 24 hours. First, an update to an overnight shooting in Northeast Portland near a church and a school. So police responded to the call just before 2 a.m. in front of Trinity Lutheran Church near the intersection of Northeast 55th and Killingsworth. Portland police say a woman was found shot and injured at a playground near the church. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests were made. The shooting is under investigation. And an update to a shooting that we brought to you as breaking news yesterday. A Southwest Portland preschool says its security guard was forced to shoot a man yesterday morning when he was threatened and assaulted. The guard was in the parking lot of a medical clinic next door to the Gone, which is a preschool on Southwest Capitol Highway. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
When a security officer is involved, it doesn't change the investigation that we do. It certainly is an element that we would have to document as part of the investigation. We'll look into security officers' credentials. They have to be certified by the state to be armed security, so we'll look into that.
Authorities say the security guard is cooperating, and at this point, there's no word on any charges. And an update to a stabbing incident in Salem yesterday that left 1 man dead. A 16-year-old suspect was taken into custody last night. The incident happened around 1 a.m. yesterday at a pool hall along State Street. Officers say a group of young men got into an argument. 21-year-old Isaac Rizzo died from his injuries at a hospital. A second man sustained non-life-threatening injuries. The teen suspect faces second-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. New at noon, Multnomah County is warning people to prepare now for hot days this summer. The county held a meeting this morning for members of the media, sharing more about heat-related dangers and deaths in the past few years. The county says in the last 3 years, 14 people have died due to the heat. Most were men over the age of 60 who had underlying health problems. Multnomah County says 79% of those deaths occurred in the resident's home. The Office of Emergency Management also shared what threshold triggers the opening of cooling shelters. The county says the National Weather Service heat risk tool helps make that determination. And at a level 3 risk, the county would consider opening cooling centers or shelters. At level 4, the county activates those cooling shelters. But we are not exactly expecting summer weather this weekend. Some rain headed our way. Chris McGinnis here to track that for us.
A wee bit of rain, I think. A little bit on Mother's Day and maybe more Sunday night into Monday. We'll get into that in just a second. But for now, this is actually the warmest day of the next several, and it's glorious out there. Visible satellite showing just a few high fair weather clouds passing over northwest Oregon, southwest Washington at this lunchtime hour. It's 64 degrees, last check at the airport. And I wanted to point out the freezing level from this morning, the balloon that they launch in Salem every day, that twice a day takes instrument readings, temperature, pressure, wind, all that stuff. It's higher today. The freezing level, that is, higher today than it was yesterday. So that bodes to warmer afternoon temperatures. We're already approaching 70 in Beaverton. Sherwood, that temperature spiked up to 75 at last check. Salem sits at 66. And after starting off the morning in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees, Pendleton's already up to 73 at 74 out towards John Day. All right, the plan for the rest of the day is just beautiful. Wall-to-wall sunshine, again, with some high, thin clouds from time to time, and temperatures inching into the upper 70s. By the way, we've already notched 5 80-degree days, one more 6 if we get there. So we could be close, but maybe it's just a little shy of that. All right, what I'm watching for the weekend is that storm system offshore will throw some cloud cover our way tomorrow, and then scattered showers in our Sunday forecast. China, I'm going to walk you through this with Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Portlanders are reacting to the big news out of Vatican City. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, now Pope Leo XIV from Chicago, was picked as the Pope on the second day of the conclave. At the University of Portland, bells rang on campus for an hour after white smoke came from the Sistine Chapel. Many people we spoke to were stunned that the new Pope is American, and they hope Pope Leo leads in a similar fashion as Pope Francis, who welcomed all to the church.
When I got the news, I immediately wanted to come down, take a moment and be part of Mass and just be grateful for the fact that we now have a new Pope.
I think he's in that same spirit of Francis, a love for the poor, concern for those marginalized, but also fiscally and administratively sound.
In his first address to the world, Pope Leo spoke about peace and unity. Those are messages Catholic followers in Portland hope resonate with many. On this week's Straight Talk, KGW's Stephanie Domerat sat down with two local international aid experts. So they talked about the recent cuts to U.S. foreign aid by the Trump administration and how it could have an impact on global humanitarian work.
The colleagues in other organizations I talked to see this as a fundamental restructuring. I don't think it's a short-term thing. I think it's a major restructuring that we have to manage and have to reimagine ourselves as a sector, how we do the work that we do. But politically, things change. They swing the other direction. There'll likely be a positive developments later. But I think it's a fundamental shift.
They also covered misconceptions about foreign aid spending during this episode of Straight Talk. So you can watch it Saturday or Sunday night at 6:30 or Monday night at 7. And you can also check it out anytime on our free TV app, KGW+. Now to a call out from the largest theater company in the Rose City. Portland Center Stage announced that it could be in danger of closing unless it can raise millions in just a few months. Alma McCarty has this story.
Inside the box office at the Armory, Portland Center Stage kicks off an emergency fundraising campaign.
We're currently hoping to reach a 2.5 million goal before August, and anything helps.
And by June 2026, the theater company needs $9 million to avoid permanent closure.
Is we decided to be really direct with the public about the actual number and give a comprehensive number.
Marissa Wolf, the artistic director, explains $4 million goes to the annual operating budget and the additional $5 million to stay open and thrive.
We are quite a nimble organization without the reserves that we need. Navigating lower earned income, lower ticket sales actually puts us up against a wall. So that's why we've had to come out right now.
Before COVID, she says they were looking at a record-breaking year.
We got 6 shows into the 10, and then we had to shut down. And we shut down
for 18 months. Like many other theaters, seats sat empty. When the company reopened, audience habits had changed. Wolf says they've been fighting since that time to build back.
And we've come to a moment that has been so challenging that we actually do need to turn to our public and go out with this campaign and say, actually, we can't keep going unless we meet these really ambitious but totally achievable goals.
With just 2 months left this season and a series of performances already lined up for next,
your support means the world to us.
Portland Center Stage hopes patrons will see the value.
Yes, it's support for theater that creates a sense of belonging and a sense of joy. It is actually critical support for the city of Portland.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
And just to clarify here, while we've recently seen a lot of cuts to arts grants on the federal level, it's a relatively small budget for Portland Center Stage. So that's not what brought on this fundraising need. And to another local headline right now, Albertsons is set to close its Southwest Portland store this July. So this is the one on Southwest Beaverton-Hillsdale Highway and Shattuck Road. The company says most, if not all, of the 87 employees at this location will be offered jobs at other nearby Safeways or Albertsons stores.